Hey y'all, I'm Kris, and this is It Worth It, y'all? And today we are going to go through and check out how we created this awesome spread for Cinco de Mayo for 50 people. Spoiler alert, we didn't bring any food home. This whole spread got wiped out by about 60 people that showed up to the event. It was fantastic. Now to start prepping for this, we prepped in advance, several days. Actually, you'll see months ago, actually. Part of this was the street corn, and we did a whole video on that. I'll put a card up to link this video so you can see how we did this. But this corn, street corn casserole, was an absolute hit. Everybody loved it, and we literally went through 2 pans of it. It was so good. It was intimidating at first, but it's just take the ingredients and assemble, and just, make it to your liking. There was really no measurements, but I mean, just taste and measure and taste and measure, and it turned out great. Greg and I decided we like it at room temperature instead of cold. The next video you need to go watch in preparation for this day is the how to make homemade chips recipe or video. These are Greg's amazing potato chips that he makes for us, and he's very meticulous about how he does this, and the chips turn out perfectly every single time. In the video you'll see us make homemade tortilla chips too, and the tortilla chips went so fast. We literally ran out even before the party was supposed to be over, and everybody that come in late were like, "Where's the chips?" I'm like, "Sorry, they are all gone." We used 160 corn tortillas to make these chips for the party, and they went like hotcakes. So if you need any more reviews than 60 people at a Cinco de Mayo party to wipe out that many homemade tortilla chips, if that don't say it's worth it, y'all, I don't know what does. All right, so I went ahead and prepped the rice. So we just did it in the Instant Pot. Here are the remnants of it. I burned the bottom a couple times. So this rice I'm gonna let kind of like air dry, get some of the moisture out of it. Maybe put it in the oven and bake it off a little bit, but it's still good. I still like it. It did a little different. I went ahead and put the tomatoes directly in. Next time I'm going to cook the rice and then add the ingredients later. I just did it this way just to try it. I also put some green chilies in it as well. The taste though, fantastic. So we're going to let this dry, maybe salvage it. If it doesn't work, we'll put it in our freezer and we'll do it again. So either way, we've got rice. Next thing I'm doing is we're going to do a quick soak in the Instant Pot with some black beans. I'm just going to use the Instant Pot to do a quick soak. Don't know if I'm going to do a half hour or an hour quick soak, but we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll add ingredients and probably use the Instant Pot to finish them off and prep the black beans. So, oh, and here's another project. The cooking oil that we used, all the grease for all the chips that we made yesterday, I am straining it. So this is my fancy little get up right here. Draining the grease directly into a half-gallon jar so we can fry again, because it could use a couple more fries. It's not completely spent just yet. So yeah, update so far. Thing I like to do is I like to make sure that I get all my ingredients together: onions, tomatoes, jalapenos, and then I bring my other table. So this is just an extra table, and I bring it into my living room and I start setting up ingredients. Like, these are the refried beans. I'm gonna doctor them, but at least I have the cans pulled. Then I have the cheese pulled. I know I'm gonna doctor this as well. This is the salsa. Gotta have some Cholula. So I just kind of like prep and set everything. Here's the tortillas, there's the chips we made. I've gotta cut the black olives. This is another thing of street corn that we made previously in a previous video. We're gonna do a second batch because Greg said we needed to, so we could have some for here. So as you can see, here's what the behind the scenes looks like. Hot mess. Oh, here, look, we already did a half gallon of oil. So that's good. So yeah, this is real life prepping for party of 50. A mess. And that's okay. It'll get cleaned up. Now for our proteins, we had a taco party for a friend of ours a while back, and we froze the leftover chicken. And so we're gonna turn this, it's just frozen, there's nothing bad with it, wrong with it. We're gonna turn this into, this is the poultry we didn't use for that party. So we're gonna turn this into, this is the turkey taco meat. So we're gonna add this to this, and this will be our chicken version. And then a couple weeks ago, Greg and I went ahead and we had a Taco Tuesday, and we made taco meat. And I said, hey, while we're making taco meat, let's do it for the party too. And so we made 2 gallons of hamburger meat, and we just seasoned it and froze it. So all we have to do with this is thaw it out. So the proteins are done. All right, we did a 1 hour quick soak. I have just rinsed these beans, just ran hot water over them with the sprayer. And, oh, and you notice, look, I dug out of my sink. Yay! We're gonna add fresh water. Now what this does is it actually, I don't know a better way of saying this, but all the fart chemicals that come out of the beans, that initial soak gets that stuff out of the way. Now we're gonna actually prep our beans in good new water. We're going to season them. We're going to add whatever we're going to add to them, and then we're just going to slow cook them in the Instant Pot for several hours and until they're nice and soft and ready to roll. So I'll meet you back here as soon as I get the Instant Pot cleaned back out and put back so we can season the beans. To our bean water, I have added oregano. That's what's floating on top. I added probably about a half a cup of chilies. I put a tablespoon of chicken base, like Better Than Bouillon, and then I added garlic. And we're just gonna stir this in and get that Better Than Bouillon mixed in. Dump the beans in, put the lid on, and leave it alone for, I'm gonna say 4 hours. I'll probably check it in 3. Now the next thing we take care of is we prep all of the fresh vegetables, and we usually do that as close to time as possible. And that's just to make sure that everything stays fresh and crisp, and it doesn't, like got tomatoes sitting in tomato juice for 2 or 3 days. It's not a good idea. So this, I believe, was the day before or the morning of, and we get everything sliced up and covered into each third pan that it's going to go live in at the party. And so we just take the time and do all of this by hand. We don't buy it pre-chopped because it's uber expensive if you do it that way. This is way easier. It doesn't take a lot of time, and you get a lot more bang for your buck if you go ahead and take the time to prep all the vegetables on your own and have it prepped and ready to go at the earliest the night prior to the event. Now this is morning of, and this is when the rubber really hits the road. We've got all of the things that needed to be heated up. What you see in the stove right now is the proteins, the rice, and then the beans. So we make sure that we start heating up. I think it was like, I don't know if you're going to be able to see the clock on the stove, but I think we started heating up at 7:30 for an event. We're going to do the beans when we get to the event. That way we don't have to carry one more thing that's open. And then this is showing you all of the fresh items that we have ready. The cheeses, this pico de gallo, all of the cold things. They're set and ready to roll in the refrigerator, ready for us to just grab and go when it's time to head out the door. And I like to try to keep this is the outside refrigerator, keep everything together in one location so you don't forget something. And there we have it, y'all. We did it. We pulled off a Cinco de Mayo party for 50. I think 60 showed up. The consensus is the street corn casserole is a major hit. All of the chips were gone, and pretty much everything was was gone, except I think we had a little bit of the nacho cheese left over, and we had, I think, black olives. And literally everything else that you see here, they went through. So that is a testament to everything tasted good, apparently. So I'm really grateful that I have the opportunity to do this every year for the facility where I work at. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Greg for helping me prep everything and get everything delivered to the office the night before, and then basically being my right arm and keeping me sane the day of the party. A huge, huge thank you. And we did it, and I think we did it extremely successfully. So until we see you on the next video, bye, y'all.